Hello, folks. Welcome back to Chris Wyatt Africa. This is Chris coming to you from central Pennsylvania. Well, I'm back. No, it's not Douglas MacArthur returning to the Philippines during the Second World War. It's the bankrupt, corrupt, inept, unfair state competitor to the free marketplace, South African Airways. The state-owned carrier is back, and it's still state-owned despite the fairy tales spun to us this past few months from the government of South Africa. The group Takatso, that's supposedly buying 51% stake to take this state-owned enterprise and turn it into a private equity with 49% retained by the state, has not occurred yet. Today's launch on the 23rd, or relaunch on the 23rd of September 2021, is wholly independent of the Takatso buyout. Buyout. They're not really paying much of anything for what's left of this airline. South African Airways returns to the air with just 20% of its staff and 8 aircraft, aging, decrepit aircraft. Well, folks, today it did happen. In fact, about 5 hours ago, South African Airways flight SAA 317 arrived just over 5 hours ago at gate A9 at the Cape Town International Airport after departing the OR Tambo Airport in Johannesburg about 2 hours and 11 minutes ahead of that. So they were scheduled to leave at 8:08 in the morning. They were on time, and they were scheduled to arrive at 10:19, and they were on time. So congratulations to the 123 passengers who braved SAA's return to the air. 123 passengers on this Airbus A320. Well, there you have it. They're back in the air. Now, contrary to some griping and complaining I've heard from a lot of folks that they fired all their white pilots, clearly that's not the case based on this briefing this morning from the current operating interim CEO, Thomas Kgokolo, for his pilots. You can see all the pilots in the room. Clearly, a lot of white faces still there. So that myth or rumor needs to be dispelled. Clearly, the airline has not fired all of its white pilots because this is a briefing for pilots alone. You can see most of the pilots remain white who stayed with the company in its reduced state. Well, folks, SAA is back in the air, at least from OR Tambo to Cape Town International. They have designs on more flights abroad, including Accra and many other locations. We'll see if they can pull it off. We'll see if they can pull it off. But here's the bottom line. This airline has received over 80 billion rand in bailouts from the people of South Africa over the past decade while it was unprofitable. Its corporate board was stuffed with patronage picks from ANC allies and buddies who made idiotic decisions, signed leases and agreements in which the airline overpaid for services or did not receive the services it got. And instead of expanding across Africa, like Kenya Airways and Ethiopian far more successfully, and even Turkish Airlines have done, South Africa has contracted. It's become a shell of what it once was. It was also state-owned under the National Party and apartheid, but it was profitable, despite the fact that the airline couldn't land anywhere in Africa and had to fly around the continent, wasting fuel and making international travel very complicated for South African Airways. But in the post-liberation independence era, this is an airline that should have taken off. It was well capitalized. It had the resources, the experience, and it should have taken off across the continent, but it didn't. Why? State-owned enterprises compete with the private sector, and they do so at the behest of corrupt government officials in far too many cases. Now, compare this and contrast with Ethiopian Airlines, which is state-owned, but not state-operated. The government does not intrude in the operations of Ethiopian. So they reap the benefits of state owning them by the state pimping and promoting the airline at every opportunity in diplomatic circles and running campaigns for them and negotiating rights for them. So they get that benefit without the intrusion and interference of state patronage and state corruption. That's not the case with South African Airways, an airline that was utterly destroyed by the ANC, and they just can't let go. It's an airline that should be liquidated and start from scratch. But it's back in the air. Congratulations to SAA, returning to the air today, the 23rd of September, 2021. The future does not look bright for SAA, but at the moment, it looks like there may be a future. So we shall see. Hey, folks, if you're not a subscriber to Chris Wyatt Africa, why don't you become one? Smash the button right down there, become a subscriber. Help us overcome shadow banning and attacks on centrist and conservatives here on this platform by watching our programming and supporting it. Give us a like, leave some comments on the video. Much appreciated. God bless and take care, and good luck, SAA.
You beautiful. beauty! You beauty!